Welcome to the show that takes up no more than 5 minutes of your time, but could help you gain massive real estate knowledge. It's 5 Minutes in Real Estate with best-selling author Shane Willis.
Hello, it's Shane Willis, Pensacola real estate expert, bringing you today's episode. I want to start with a story today. It reminded me of a joke. I'm pretty sure one of the comedians I watched said this before. You ever been driving down the interstate, and as you were driving, and we're all following the exact speed limit that's posted, that's not happening, but all of a sudden a state trooper comes on. So you see the state trooper pull on. Have you ever imagined that, and if you ever noticed this, and this was the joke to someone, it was like the state trooper becomes the pole position or the pace car in NASCAR. Everybody slows down and just kind of rides behind the state trooper the whole time. And then two exits later, when the state trooper gets off, or when he pulls over to go into the median to, catch folks coming over a hill, and as soon as we get past him, it's back to the races. Everybody's going 85 miles an hour again. I want you to remember that story because I want to bring it up again here in just a little bit. I want to talk about today the past 11 years in real estate and what a wild ride we've been on. I was doing a little reflection over the weekend and really wanted to kind of just discuss that today a little bit because I noticed that from 2007 to 2012, when I pulled these numbers up, houses depreciated 6.1% annually. And just so you know, a normal market is an appreciation of 3.7% annually. So we saw from 2007 to 2012, 5 years there, a depreciation of 6.1% annually. But from March of 2012 to now, we've actually seen across the country appreciation of over 6.2% annually. So it was depreciating 6.1, now it's appreciating 6.2. So as we were going into that peak in 2007, a lot of this was caused by supply and demand. And in 2007, homeowners and builders were trying to take advantage of a market that was really fueled by irrational. What's the word? Irrational exuberance. That's really about the only thing I can think of. Irrational exuberance. If you've listened to my podcast, I know people that were buying new constructions, putting loans down on new constructions, only to sell them once the construction was done for a profit. It was and the builders just kept coming. So what did that do? Well, it created an inventory issue. Inventory levels grew to 7 plus months worth of inventory right before the crash. Before the crash, you've heard me talk for the past month and a half about inventory issues we're having now. It grew to 7 plus months inventory before the crash. Then we hit the crash. What happens? When the foreclosures all came to market, so supply continued to rise, but demand had dropped off because we couldn't get a loan, inventory hit 11 months inventory. 11 months. That obviously caused prices to crash. That's why we saw the depreciation at 6.1%. It took a different type of person to be flipping that point because you needed to understand where it was. But I just wanted to kind of give you a little history of where we were. Now we've been seeing 6.2% appreciation. Well, them clouds look nasty. 6.2% appreciation since 2012. And over the last 5 years, 6 years, 7 years, inventory has remained well below the 6-month mark that is considered a normal market. It's just considered a normal market to have 6 months. We are well below. Matter of fact, I pulled up this week's numbers for under 100,000, and we're under a month's inventory. It's 0.9, which means if we don't get more listings in that price point this month, we will probably be out of houses to sell at the end of October. That's interesting. So we are well under that 6 month supply that is considered a normal market. Okay, so that's where we've been. That's the wild ride we've been on. What does that do for us now? Where are we going? Across the country, we got about 4.5 months worth of inventory. Now that's across the country at all price points. So when you average everything, we're about 4.5. I always hate using that statistic just because, I don't know if you hear that thunder or not, but it's about to get nasty out here. I hate using the statistic because it's really price point by price point and area by area. Anyways, across the country, we do have 4.5. So that's been gradually increasing because across the country earlier this summer, we had 3.7. So now we're up to 4.5. Okay, so that makes sense. We're going up some. Let's talk about both sides of the economics. The listing supply is increasing. So there was a report that comes out, and I'm going to put this in the show notes, so make sure you're going over there, for the National Association of Realtors that revealed that inventory has increased over the last 2 months. The last 2 months, we've actually seen an inventory increase. That was after 37 months of decrease. That's a big difference. 37 months of decrease, now the last 2 months, we're starting to see an increase. So the supply side of this equation is starting to increase. We have got buyer demand slightly starting to soften. Uh-oh. That's one of the first times I've said that in a while. Buyer demand is actually starting to soften. We're going to, there was a Z report that came out, this guy I follow, Ivy Zellman. He's an industry expert. While we continue to expect a resumption of growth in resale transactions on the back of easing inventory, our real-time review survey does suggest that buyers have grown more discerning of late, and a level of pause is taking hold. So as we start to hear that, hey, you're not going to see a rapid increase in everything, 6 point, 7 point, 8 point. If you look at 2017 in Escambia County, we had some double-digit returns. You're not going to see that a lot. That means that our buyer demand is starting to soften just a little. So remember basic economics. Supply is going up, demand is going down. That means that appreciation is going to slow. It has to. It's just basic economics we all learned in high school. We're not going to see the appreciation that we saw for the last 6 years, like 6 point something percent. We're just not going to see that. So what does that mean for us? Well, if you go back to my story, it just means that we're going to be going to like a 3.5% appreciation, which is a normal market. That's a normal, healthy, solid market. But with the wild ride we've had since 2007, it's probably going to feel like that pace car just got on the interstate. And even though we were doing 85 and we dropped back down to 70, we feel like we're just slowly moving along. No, we're still getting there. We're still getting where we need to go. It's just going to be at a much more normal market than before. It's not falling apart. We're not hitting reverse. We're not getting off this interstate. We are still moving forward. But like I said, it's just going to be a little bit more normal. All right. So that's all I got for you today. As always, if you're not subscribed, get the tips, tricks, graphs, infographics. Get over to 5minutesinrealestate.com. Also, get over to the Facebook page, facebook.com/Shane Willis, the Realtor. I appreciate some of the players. I think iHeartRadio, I got a couple of notices, and SoundCloud, been getting a lot of notices on, so I appreciate the hearts and the thumbs up in the comments. Keep those coming from whatever player choice you have. And finally, if you found any value in this, I think this was a pretty valuable lesson that, hey, the sky's not falling, but we are going to be back to a normal market. If you found any value in this or any other episode, do me a favor, share it on social media. Have a great Monday.